A quick and easy last-minute Christmas decoration you can make in no time at all. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline, and today I thought I'd show you a quick idea for making a Christmas decoration to hang on your wall, or if you make a smaller version, to hang on your tree. If you've got a very large tree, you can hang it on your tree. And it shouldn't take too long at all. I'll show you all the way along on the different stages that you can actually skip. So let's get started. Now this is a biscuit tin lid. It looks lovely already. So this is the first thing you can do to save some time, is to pick the lid of a biscuit tin that's got an image you like on it. If you can't, then if you pop online and look up free printables or free Christmas printables, you'll find something that you can actually print out and just glue on to the centre of your tin. But that'll take a little bit longer. Having a ready-made tin is much better, and you may find that you don't particularly want an image that looks very Christmassy. You want more of a vintage image, in which case check in the shed. There may be a tin of nails or screws or something in there that you can steal the lid off that. Just don't tell anybody. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I've got my paintbrush in my hand, I don't know why. I've been trying to organise myself. The first thing I want to do is take away this blue. Now if you decided that you like the blue, or if the tin is perfectly matched to how you'd like it, then keep it as it is. But I want to go for a more farmhouse type look. So I'm going to get rid of this blue and I'm going to put some white on. But before I do, it's very shiny. So I'm just going to take some sandpaper. Now I've only got this sandpaper, which is a bit rough really. It says P70. I'm not sure if that is the size. I think it is, the grade. So I've got to be really gentle. I'm just going to scuff up this all around the edges where I'm going to paint, and that way the paint will stick much better. And also while I'm doing this, it's a learning process. By doing this very carefully, whoops, there's a bit of sellotape left on there. You'll find little bits of sellotape that you didn't know were there. And also it's giving me that idea of how light I need to sand this, which is extremely light with this paper, to not take all the paint off, because I'm going to actually sand the front image because I think it looks a little bit shiny and pristine. Right, so here we go. Now I'm taking my life in my hands. This is definitely not guaranteed to work because I may do it too hard, but I'm going to do my best. Right, now you may think, how on earth am I going to masking tape around corners with straight masking tape? It's quite simple really. It's a bit fiddly at first, but when you get the hang of it, oops, it's not so bad. Stick that there. Now if you decide where you want your line to be, so I'm coming slightly in from the beigey colour, and make the outside go where you want it to go, but it's going to really ruffle up the inside, but that doesn't matter. That's not a problem at all. So as long as you get that outer edge looking like you want it, you beat your masking tape into submission, force it around the corners and flatten it down. There we go. Now if you are going to use an image you're going to put onto the top, instead of using the image just actually on the tin, then you don't have to do any of this. You can just paint it roughly where you want it to be, and then you'll stick your image over the top. It'll be fine. Right, now I'm going to come out with my Pink Studio Acrylic High Viscosity from my very expensive palette, which is the back of a pencil packet. And now all we're going to do is paint white all around the outside. In with my tatty mat, the one I don't mind getting dirty or messed up or covered in paint because it's already bent and old and tired. And we'll put the hairdryer on this to speed up the drying a little bit, and I'll clean my hands off. Clean off a few of the spluts from there, and now I'm going to paint the second coat. Right, so that's virtually dry. Now, one thing I should have done, I'm rushing to get this done and I forgot I haven't put my hole in the top, and I've marked nicely where I needed it to go because I want this to hang straight. So the way I measured it, which isn't the best way in the world, is I put my paper along a straight line there. I'm going to put the hole about there. So I'm going to use my crocodile and make a hole in the top. Oh, I'm very pleased with that. I thought it may have scratched it a little bit. You may decide you're just going to rough this up with a little bit of sandpaper, again, if you've got a fine grit sandpaper. Or, if you don't mind taking a little bit longer, then we're going to do some dry brush technique on here. So I'm going to get some brown acrylic. So I've got to decide what colour I'm going to use. Now, I think I'm going to go for a really dark colour and add some white. There, that's what we want. This is the effect you're looking for. Hardly anything coming off your brush. You don't want it like that, otherwise you'll have spludges. You still have to be very light-handed, otherwise you could end up with spludges, as you see there anyway. But what we'll do is we'll rub those down a little bit if necessary. I'll go over with white and then go over the top again. This is what I was hoping for. This very pale look like that. Just my luck, the thickness has come right on the corners where you can see it. So, out with my wet wipe. Take some of it back off. In with the kitchen roll. And give it a rub. Right, am I happy with this? I don't want it uniform. I want some bits lighter than others. I want some with more marks than others. I think I like that. I'm going to stop. I could carry on. Oh, I think I'll put a little bit. Let's make sure my brush is very dry. And I put a little bit in the ridge. Just in some places. Like that. And near the edge too. Oh, this is fun. It's just like a decision process. Very arty. I'll pop some here. And oh, I feel it'll enhance it there. That sort of thing. It's quite fun. Right, so now the big moment. We're going to take the masking tape off and see how well it worked. Be careful because the masking tape with the paint on, for some reason the paint on masking tape stays wet for longer. Now the paint you use is all a decision choice. One of the reasons I preferred to go with the acrylic is that I know this is still going to be quite shiny, so there's like a sheen to the acrylic, so it sort of blends in a little bit. Not much, but it isn't as stark as if I'd used chalk paint. I've got this string here that I got from the pound shop, or rope, but it's very thick and it's not going to fit through that hole, and I think it might be a bit large. Let's have a look. Poke that through there. It's going to really struggle to get two pieces through there. So, what we'll do, we'll cut it to the length we want. So I'm going to make this a longer hanger because we can always shorten it down if necessary, depending on where you're hanging it. And then I'm just going to split this apart, which is great because now I've got two for the price of one. So it takes a little bit of fiddling with. And now I'm going to try coming from the other side, and then I've only got to thread it once. Up it goes. And then tie a knot on the bit that hasn't yet come through, just to stop it coming through the hole. And there we've got our hanger. If you want to be really quick and you don't want to go through all the fuss of puncturing holes and things, just use some hot glue and fix them on with some hot glue. A way of speeding it up a little bit more. Right, that's very nice, but I just think it needs a little bit of oomph, a little bit more of aging type farmhouse vintagey look. So I'm going to get some bits and pieces. I've got some, these are little bits off an old Christmas garland. So I've got 4 of those, and I got, this came off, I'll show you, it's very messy. This was a vintage, like, I don't know what you'd call it, some sort of display. And it's falling apart, so I decided to enhance the falling apart properties by completely taking it apart, and I've got all these little bits and pieces, wood and little bits of fruit that I can use on my craft projects. So I thought we could perhaps use those and these. So those, there's a long one and a short one we could use each side. I've got some berries. There, we could use some berries. I've got a bit of ribbon. I think the first thing we should do is have a look. Blow all that off there. Again, it's a decision process, which is quite fun, depending on how long you've got. If you're rushing, then forget the decision process. Just be practical. Think, right, I need to balance this up this way or that way, and just get on with it. But I've got the time and the luxury to be able to fiddle about with this a little. Well, I think that's going to look good. So now I'll turn on my hot glue gun. Right, while I was waiting for my glue gun to warm up, I've been looking and playing about with this, and I've changed my idea on the design. So those are going to be down the bottom, these are going to be up the top, so I have to start by gluing these two sticks on. Something down here. I don't want to go too far. I could stop now. I don't think that's going to work. And have I got anything in my little bunch here? I've got some berries here. Let's have a look at these. Ooh, you can see the glue has gone quite old on these. It just falls off. Oops, as the berries do. Oh yes, I actually like that. Yep, I'm going to put some there. Nice bunch of glue in there. So I think that's looking pretty good. Now there is another option we have. We could surround the outside. I've got this rope here. We could put some rope all the way around here. I think that's really going to lift it. So I think we'll go for that. Take my life in my hands. It's always a worry when you do something like this. You think, oh, if I do that, will I ruin it? Well, we'll find out. Right, now there's one more thing I'm tempted to do. And I'm thinking now, shall I do it? Covered in glue. I could make another bow. Let's have a look. What size do I want? You can adjust the size of your bow by how far apart you hold your fingers. There. Fold it in the middle. Tie it up with a piece of string. You may ask, how long should that piece of string be? Good question. As they say, how long is a piece of string? Right, so we'll tie that in a double knot so it's not going anywhere. And bring those to the bottom, fluff out little bowy bits, the loopy bits on the bow, and then decide where you want to cut this bow. I don't want it a long, dangly, feminine looking one. I want it to look a nice, rustic but pretty one. There, so pop that on there with a little bit of glue, and then pop my bow there. Now that I am very pleased with. I've just noticed there's a tiny little bit of glue showing there, but it's a bit more than a tiny bit. So I'm going to pop these over the glue, using a bit more glue. I know it sounds crazy. And then you won't see the big lump of glue sticking out. The little fine bits that I'll pull off when it's all completely dry. So there we have my Christmas wall hanging decoration. Super fast, super easy. Anybody can do this. I know you could do this. It is really basic and looks much more impressive. It looks really high-end, doesn't it? You'd swear you got this from one of those fancy craft fairs. Why not give it a go? Why not have a look, see what you've got, and see if there's anything you can come up with before Christmas and make yourself a brand new Christmas decoration. So if this video has inspired you to give this a try, then please give me a thumbs up, and it would be great if you could subscribe, and that way then you'll get to see any other crafts I put out over the year. Plus you have the odd little splash of art and happy mail, haul videos, so there's usually something going on over at my hillside home. which is some information coming soon on a change of name for my channel. I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, have fun!